when in Canton, you go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. If you're a football fan, this is where it is. Ryan ran the half marathon today. He's very excited. So now that he's showered, he's fed, we're going to tour the museum. The last remnants of the run and runners. So one of the big things about this race and why there's not going to be any footage from it outside of pictures that Ryan took is spectators were not allowed in the stadium this year. So we made the decision for me just to stay back at the hotel, and Ryan came and did the run and we were done. So that was one of the COVID precautions that they made sure of. But real quick, I wanted to just peek and see what's up and what's going on and see some people finish before we go into the Hall of Fame. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna go up and see some finishers.
Yeah, video! Woo! Good job, everyone. Thanks for being out here. Go relay, people. Yeah! There's the streams. Woo! This is Fred. He's kicking some butts. Running for Donate for Life. He's amazing.
So again, no spectators were allowed in the stadium, but you can see it. There's the finish. Right over there. And here comes some finishers right here. So this is how the course works. We've got the finish line and the start line in the stadium at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is really cool. Woo! Yay! Something else that they did for this marathon to make it COVID compliant, each person got a staggered start with a time on it. And Ryan's time this morning was at 8:30. So I'm sorry, 8:36, because they did it every 2 minutes. And marathoners started at 7. He did the half marathon. He didn't end up starting at 8:36 though, because he wanted to help support a friend and run with him. And while you couldn't move forward with your staggered time, you could move back. So he was able.
I love you, Fred. You did a great job today. I'm proud of you, brother.
We made it inside of the Pro Football Hall of Fame Museum. Tickets are $25 a person. There are discounts for veterans and military, and then parking is an additional $10 as well. So here we are inside. So this is important. We're allowed to take pictures, but I'm not allowed to take pictures of those things. That's important. Restaurants. We were also given one of these little stylus thingies so that, again, for COVID, we keep things as touch-free as possible, which I appreciate. So here, right when you come in, those of you who watched my Indianapolis Speedway Museum video know that I absolutely love old cars. So this is pretty. I like that. This is a 1920 Humpmobile. Very cool. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is something I often ask myself, why Canton, Ohio? So according to this, the 3 reasons why the Football Hall of Fame is here is the American Professional Football Association was founded in Canton in 1920. The Canton Bulldogs were an early day pro football power, even before the days of the NFL. And Canton citizens early in the 1960s launched a determined and well-organized campaign to earn the site designation for their city. So there we have it. Why Canton? Jim Thorne. Looks like we're inside of the giant football. And for those of us like me who have no idea who this is, Jim Thorne was the NFL's first, Jim Thorpe, 1920 was the NFL's first president. So that's why he has a statue inside.
He was also an Olympian too.
And according to Ryan, he was an Olympian. So Ryan was completely correct on the other side of the sign. It tells us the United States dominated the 1920 Olympic Games in Belgium. The U.S. team medaled 95 times, including 41 gold medal performances, and one of them went to Jim Thorpe. So there we go. Olympian, also the first NFL president. All right, the 1940s and 50s. Ooh, this one I know. The 1950, in their first game in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns defeated the defending champion, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm from Cleveland, and that's our little original mascot guy. Oh, here we go again. The Cleveland Browns with Coach Paul Brown, featuring 6 future Hall of Fame players, won the AAFC title in each of the 4 seasons the league operated. So, see, Cleveland did once upon a time have an absolutely epic football team. And this is why we are loyal and true to our Cleveland Browns.
And this is what also the colors were named from Bowling Green after.
And according to Ryan, why Bowling Green, our alma mater, picked orange and brown as their colors was to follow after the Cleveland Browns. So again, he actually knows more about football than I thought he did.
Honey, keep it away from it.
Yes, Walt Disney. So the one thing about this museum is there's a lot of reading so far, which is cool, but I'm more of a visual kind of person. And there is a lot of reading. I do like how it's set up like this timeline, so you can kind of understand the breakdown. And again, it's like this circular room centered around the football. This is cool. You're getting my reflection in the picture as well, but this is Paul Brown's Cleveland Browns sideline jacket. He's a little guy. Little guy. And in case you want to see a comparison, measuring up to the pros. I mentioned before how we were all given one of these little stylus, and this is why. All throughout the museum there are these little screens, and you can learn, like, for example, about
the 3-4 defense is an alignment born from simple necessity. It's hard to find athletic down linemen. The 3-4
and the T formation.
Every football fan is accustomed to seeing a quarterback under center. This modern configuration is a direct result of the T formation, in which a quarter.
So it's kind of cool that they gave us these little stylus to make sure that we're not touching things. And then in case we want to see how we stack up in terms of our body. So this is Gilbert Brown's leg. So, see. There we go. I'm in his leg. Definitely weird and a little bit different.
For number 36. Thanks, Coach. To our Rooney, I want to thank you for your friendship.
So here's a name and a face that I have heard of. It is quarterback from the 1989 to 2000 Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman. And I actually have heard of him. So here's his face in the Hall of Faces. So when you're inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, there are three symbols, or three ways that they symbolize that status. The first is with a jacket, a gold jacket, then the bronze bust, and then a one-of-a-kind Hall of Fame ring, which is presented at the Hall of Fame's home stadium, or the Hall of Famers' home stadium. And you can kind of see it. Here are some of the rings swirling around.
We put them through what we call the car wash. Okay, you go to the ballistic, you get your gold jacket, you go to the sculpture. Everybody but the person in the sculpture is a half an hour. Sculpture's over 2 hours. They measure every aspect of the face. Take 200 to 250 photos. Then the million-dollar question, how do you want to be represented? Most of the guys that say, like my rookie, my current client, I kind of want to smack them and say, you're 70 years old. These guys are artists, they're not magicians. Mm-hmm. But as you can see from the example, Blair Buswell pulls it off every year. You know, where are you from?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus.
Okay. Our local paper did an article, the Hall of Fame bus room at night, conversation.
Ooh.
Oh, it was fabulous. It was really good what the players would say to each other about the things they've been through and all this, you know. It just depends. The guys have one thing in common. They're people. Mm-hmm. There's not a one who will put a hand up and talk to me. Do you know who I am? Most of them are so, when they get here, which is good to see. Each one is a character in their own right. And each one is respected. And they're especially thankful for us because we're the ones that get beat up.
Well, there wouldn't be a museum if there wasn't volunteers and things like that.
Were you at the draft or just here for the marathon?
Marathon, yeah.
I know the draft was crazy.
It's an example of one of the gold jackets. So this is the locker room movie theater, and so far it's been my favorite part of the entire museum. It's really cool. It was a hologram show that was very inspirational, talking about excellence, perseverance, resiliency, what it takes to be a football player, what it takes to be a Hall of Famer. And you got to hear from different coaches, and just the special effects were really cool. I even said it makes me feel like I'm in Disney. So the room is really neat, set up like a locker room. And then the show was absolutely awesome. I could not video during the show because of copyright, but if you are in Canton, this movie and this part of the museum is a must-see. So one of the quotes that was said during the video was, "If we can chase perfection, we can catch excellence," and that was said by Vince Lombardi. I really liked that quote, and this was the challenge. I like the visual of this. It's all about career rushing yards. It showcases Jim Brown, Walter Payton, And then Emmitt Smith, 18,355 career rushing yards for Emmitt Smith. And it's like they're, the visual is that they're running through glass. It's kind of cool. I like that. So the Lombardi Trophy is presented annually to the winner of the Super Bowl, originally known as the AFL-NFL World Champion Game Trophy. It was renamed after the legendary Green Bay Packers coach in 1970. Designed by Tiffany & Company, it is handcrafted sterling silver, stands 21 inches high, and weighs 7 pounds. And here it is. This is Mac Speedy End, 1946-1952. Mac scored the first touchdown in Cleveland Browns history with a 19-yard touchdown reception in the first quarter of a 44-0 victory over the Miami Seahawks, 1946. Cleveland. So I like this room. Ooh. Definitely has, to me, more visuals, which I appreciate. A lot of this museum has a lot of reading or a lot of videos. So down here, this is nice. Oh, and I like this, the official referees. This is a war rations book from World War II that Mac from the Cleveland Browns was issued, and this was his military ID, and then the game football. I'm a big award show person pre-COVID, and this is actually really kind of cool. This is Carrie Underwood's dress and jewelry and shoes, which I'll show in a second, from the 2017 performance of Oh Sunday Night, the opening theme for primetime television's #1 program, Sunday Night Football. Underwood began singing the NFL opening theme in the 2013 season. So here she is wearing the dress in this picture. And here's the actual dress. She is tiny. And then here's her shoes and jewelry. And then over here is an Emmy for the 2015 Sports Emmy Awards Outstanding Live Sports Series Sunday Night Football. Primetime Emmy Award. Sunday Night Football. We just finished our adventure inside of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What'd you think, Ryan?
I loved every minute of it. It was great to understand the history, players, and what it takes to really play in the NFL.
Yeah, again, I've said it in a couple other video clips. There was a lot of reading at this museum. My favorite parts were actually toward the end, that first beginning part with the history and the timeline. For somebody who doesn't really get football and who's not really into it, I found it a little bit boring. But once we got to that locker room hologram show and some of the stuff in the bottom area, it was way more visual and a lot more fun. But that's just me. And again, I'm not somebody who really knows much about football and doesn't watch football, doesn't, you know, I'm kind of the stereotype girl when it comes to football. So if you love football, this is your museum. You will definitely get your money's worth out of it. Check out that hologram show inside the locker room. That was amazing. Definitely my favorite part. And yeah, when you're in Canton, this is definitely a must stop for any football fan. And if you're a runner looking for a runcation, then I highly recommend doing either the Draft Day 5K, which I did yesterday, or the Hall of Fame Marathon, half marathon, which was today. And then check out the Hall of Fame while you're here. So this is Ashley with Run 50 States My Way. Thanks for watching our Canton adventure.